It's not a common word that we use regularly, but it's intriguing because it's very apt for the times that we are in. So as I kept understanding what lucid chaos was, I understood that it's about different things which are happening across, which seem not related to each other, which kind of seem messy, which kind of even seem chaotic, might actually be following a pattern, might actually be following a discernible pattern into the future. So there's so much of change and chaos happening everywhere. So is there a lucid chaos in this? Is there a discernible path and direction that this is taking? That's the topic that I want to get into. What is the discernible path and direction that's happening across these chaos, across these seemingly unrelated things, across these multiple changes that are happening across us? So to find that pattern, to find the pattern which is affecting and changing so many things, I'm going to talk about a few examples. I'm going to talk about a few examples that I see across me. I'm going to start with an example of a friend who lives in Canada. Now, guess what? In the last few years, he is able to go and attend hospitals much further away than where his home is. The reason he is able to go and attend hospitals which are so further out is because he doesn't have to drive all the way. His car drives part of the way. He is able to sit in his car and let the car drive most of the way. He just takes over the car for some part of it. Things are changing for him. There is change happening for him, and it's changing in good ways. He is able to attend more patients. He is able to give care to patients who would not have got that kind of nurse if not for that car driving part of the way. I live in US. I became a citizen there. So in there, my kids, they don't have anybody who speaks our mother tongue very close to us. So if they have to learn our mother tongue, they have to speak to somebody who is either here, speak to us to learn and read and write it, but instead they speak to a chat tool inside our computer. And the chat tool is doing the role of a teacher, teaching them our language, teaching them the spellings, the cursive writing, correcting them if they don't know this. Imagine if that tool was not there, they would not have got that education. Things are changing for them. Things are changing for kids. Things are changing for the nurses. And just 2 days back, Elon Musk was talking at the Davos conference. Several of our leaders were also there. They were talking in the Davos conference, and he talked about his Optimus robot. The Optimus robot, you would have seen different demonstrations of it. It's understanding what's happening around it. And one of the use cases he mentioned kind of touched my attention. He talked about Optimus robot giving a more well-rounded health care to elders, to people who need that care, anytime in the day, anytime in the night, understanding the very specific needs that patient has, very specific needs that elderly person has at their home. If not for that particular technology of chat, my kids would not have learned my mother tongue sitting in a remote part in US. If not for the technology of Optimus, in future, elders in their home wouldn't be able to get a nurse attending them in the middle of the night. These are changes which are happening, changes which seem seemingly unrelated, but there is a lucid chaos among all of this. And you might think maybe the chaos, the lucid factor, the underlying theme is just AI, it's AI doing Optimus, AI doing FSD, AI doing the chat. I think it's little beyond that. I think this pattern should be called a particular name. I think the pattern should be called a name called AI forward. Is that it's looking at things which a human would not have done. A nurse would not have gone to that further hospital if not for that FSD. An elderly patient wouldn't have got that nurse if not for that AI in the night. A kid wouldn't have got to learn his mother tongue if not for that technology. Taking AI and applying it into use cases which wouldn't have otherwise been possible if not for that AI. I think that's AI forward. Technology is changing everything, and obviously AI is a big part of it. The way businesses are defining themselves are changing, and technology is a key part of it. So that's the theme that I want to take for today's meeting. I was going to talk about, hey, what is AI forward? How do we leverage this? How do we get ahead of this pattern, this trend which is happening? And why should we even care about this AI forward? Why should we think about AI forward in our personal lives, in our careers, in our job applications, in our businesses? So let's talk a little bit on that. But before I go into it, I want to also address this. AI sometimes has picked up bad publicity. People are becoming a little scared, risk-prone things. I want to quickly draw an analogy. AI is a technology, right? Cars are a technology. Imagine the time when cars were first introduced. Imagine a black color Ford T model first driving across the road. Do you think they would have worn seat belts? They would not have worn seat belts. Those safeguards came in later. The technology came in first. So the same way, AI is also going to get into those safeguards at some point of time. But that doesn't mean you don't start driving cars till seat belts come. You should start experimenting with cars so that you can get into that modern technology. The same way with AI. If AI was a car, you should not be saying that I don't want to drive a car, I'll go on a horse because it doesn't have a seat belt. You try the car. You get to the seat belt when it gets to the seat belt. So AI is in that space. So sometimes on the weekends, I get up in little late on Sunday morning, and my kids say, Dad, we want to eat something tasty. My wife is probably tired. I say, okay, let me make something good. Now, I could just make something which is just sustenance, fill that tummy up. Or I can do AI forward even in my personal life. I can think about not just making something because I want to feed them, but I can think about making something which will nourish them, because my AI is probably following what my kids' nourishment needs are. It's probably also following what is in my refrigerator and thinking and doing things which would have otherwise not been possible. Otherwise, I would have just made something to fill their tummy up. Now, I'm able to apply AI. I can apply simple prompts to understand, hey, these are the stuff I have. This has been what my kids been going through. What should I make? And it comes up with menus and recipes. I mean, obviously, there are several people who are employed in the technology sector here in India. There are so many people who could be writing codes. For them, AI forward is about doing more than what they were doing before. Not just about printing and creating lines of code, but maybe architecting systems, architecting the bigger picture of how these components would come together and create something. So that's AI forward for those kind of employees. Now, all of you are MBAs. Maybe you are going to be a corporate financial analyst in some company. Maybe AI forward for you is not just going to be about where has the money for my company been? Did I use up all my budget? Did I spend more than what I was supposed to spend? Maybe AI forward for you would be about where should this money go to? Not where the money has been in the past year, not where the money has been in the past period, but where should this money go to? And for which scenario, for which future possibility should I invest this money in? Maybe that's AI forward for a corporate financial analyst. There could also be other kind of roles which could be like, over here in Delhi, there's so many BPO organizations. There could be somebody just taking orders and just recording what the customer is asking for. Maybe an AI forward for him or her could be that, hey, instead of just saying, tell me what you need, it's probably recommending, hey, because of what I know about you, because of what I understand is happening in your city, because of what I understand is happening in your market, I'm going to suggest something. Not be an order taker alone, but be a customer advocate. So I think that's another AI forward option. Every role would have something more you could do when you apply AI to it. Now, all of you are in MBA roles. You could be entering into functions which are already extreme entrenched, functions which you know are doing certain scope of activities. AI is changing everything. It would increase the scope of what you are doing in the future, in 2 years' time, 5 years' time. Imagine this into the future and say, what could I do which is AI forward, and taking the things which were done before, adding more to it, and using AI to do it better. Now, it doesn't have to be a human and individual alone who's doing AI forward, not a human who is saying, okay, I was doing this before, I'm going to do something more because I'm applying AI. It could be an entire organization which is probably doing a certain thing day in and day out, is probably going to think, can I do something more? And we are seeing cases for that. There are legal law firms in the US which are saying that, hey, I know I can work with large customers because I can apply a lawyer to work with the large customer, and that lawyer's time is well utilized. But what about the long tail of small customers? Maybe there's a long tail of small customers who have very small cases where they can't afford an entire lawyer's salary. Can I do more? That's AI forward. You can be doing more with the same group, you can be doing more for more people, you can be doing more in the same organization. That's AI forward to me. Maybe AI forward for humanity is finding ways for humanity to survive where if there was some catastrophic event happening on Earth, the multi-planetary humanity approach. AI forward, I think, for humanity is going to be about doing more than what humanity has been known to do since ages. This means new jobs in solving cancer with AI, new jobs in solving multiple sclerosis with AI, new jobs in solving world hunger with AI, new jobs in solving space with AI. Those are the fields which will probably open up and become more and more. So that's AI forward to me. Now, all of this starts with an individual, starts with you, starts with what you are doing in your day-to-day life, because what you do affects your organization, what the organization does affects the entire humanity. So I think that AI forward pattern, as it's going through and as it's building, if you get ahead of that pattern, you are going to benefit from it. So I've been playing around, I've been looking at different management constructs to see, is there any management construct that I can use to define what I'm seeing with AI, this AI forward pattern that I'm seeing, can I apply any management construct for it? So the closest I could find was in business process reengineering. In business process reengineering, there is a construct called local optimization. Now, that doesn't really explain AI forward, but I think there is a new construct we need to define. How do I, as a student, do AI forward? How do I, as a corporate financial analyst, do AI forward? How do I, as a parent cooking a meal for my kids, do AI forward? I think the model for it, in my words, I'm going to call it as the ultimate benefactor model. Who is the ultimate benefactor for what you're doing? How can you do more for them? If I'm a father cooking a meal for my kids, what can I do more than just do sustenance for my kids? Maybe can I do nutrition? Can I figure out what's the best thing I can do with whatever I have at home? That's doing AI forward in a personal level, right? Maybe I'm a corporate financial analyst, as I was telling before, and instead of just looking at what happened before, what happened in the past, where was my money in the past, I'm going to look at where should the money be in the future. That's maybe AI forward. That's probably a skill that companies would pay more money to me. Now, and when you get into those kind of models where you are redefining what a corporate financial analyst is, where you're redefining what an order taker is, you're standing for something more than what your job title gave you. You're standing for something more than what your role was. Making a resume is not AI forward. Making a model for the company you're applying for to tell them how do you solve the challenges which I think from an outside in you are facing, that's AI forward. If you are applying to a company which is probably in a marketing role, and you do AI forward in helping them understand that market before you even send their resume to them, that's AI forward, right? So AI forward, I think, is all of those things, doing more. Now, if you notice what I did, I mixed personal examples of me cooking at home for Sunday, and other examples, work examples together. I purposely mixed that examples. Each of us put some thinking hats on when we do different works. If you are putting a thinking hat on at work and not putting the thinking hat on in your personal life, your brain is not exercising the same cells which it was supposed to exercise. I keep telling an example to my kids. Would a tiger be tiger in office and not at home? It would be a tiger everywhere. Would you be a thinker at office and not at home? You'd be a thinker everywhere. Would you be an AI forward at home and not at office, or at office and not at home? No, you'll be AI forward everywhere. If you are able to apply AI at work, you would be applying AI at home too. So try utilizing every task you do and reimagine what that task means if you apply AI for it. Cooking a meal, going on a road trip, applying for a resume, doing the role that you are doing day in, day out. What is AI forward and what more can I do? I think that's going to be the biggest value into the future. Now, when I talk about AI, I typically, and I go to different countries and talk about AI, several people talk back and they say, hey, we don't understand AI. There's so many terminologies in there. People talk to me about MCP, A2A, LoRa fine-tuning. I don't understand that. I'm a simple business user. I don't understand those terminologies. You're telling me to adapt AI, you're telling me to be AI forward. I can't even converse with those words. And here is my response back. Don't worry about those words. Find the use case for AI, how AI will help a particular organization. That's more valuable than being able to learn the jargon of MCPs, A2As, and all the other things. Once you know that use case, finding help, finding ways to make that use case come to life is the easy part. I say that it's easy part because you can find other people who can do that. Or maybe you just go to a ChatGPT and ask it, how do I do it? It's probably going to give you a 4-step process to build that up. Lucid chaos. Chaos would not be lucid if you don't know which direction you are going to. Chaos wouldn't be lucid if you don't understand which pattern this multiple changes are going to. I think the pattern that all these changes are going to is AI forward, where AI is being applied to do more things than what it was before. So my conclusion is every task you do, be it at home or be it at office, be it in job applications, be it at academic work, think about what else could you do if you apply AI to it. What else additional work can you do? What additional users, what additional ultimate benefactors can you go after if you apply AI to it? Think about that in everything you do. Okay? So that's a bit on me. Thank you so much. Thanks for your time. Appreciate this.